I'm going to try and keep this advice brief. Please make sure you subscribe and leave a like, and also feel free to leave any comments and I'll try and respond to them. So this video is for the next science papers, paper 2 in all of the sciences. I'm doing this because I feel like a lot of my advice would be quite similar, so there's no need to just post 3 videos. I'm just going to put it all in this video, and this is my final advice for the last 3 science papers. Number 1 is the last papers. Like, keep your motivation up, guys. The last bit, just don't drop off, okay? You can't give up. Every single paper matters towards some grade, and these last science ones are really important because I think a lot of people can feel like paper 1 is more than it actually is, if you know what I mean. So paper 2 is often neglected. And this is 50% of the marks. So yeah, just make sure you keep your motivation up and you keep revising for these papers. Next piece of advice is just make sure, it's quite simple, make sure you know your topics inside and out for each of the papers. Make sure you know and revise your practicals inside and out for each of the papers. The practicals are going to account for like 10 marks per paper. So that's really significant. That's really significant marks you can either gain or lose. So what I would do to learn the practicals is watch 3 science lesson videos, flashcard them, try a couple questions. Anything like that is going to be helpful. But it's just really important you know what's going to be on the paper, and you know the practicals, and you know the layout of the paper too. Next piece of advice as well is just do loads of practice questions, okay? This is like the best advice I can give you, really. Between now and each of your paper 2s in science, I would just do as many practice questions as possible. For those of you that don't understand the exam techniques so well, just doing questions, the more you do, the more you realise, and the more you mark as well. That's really important. Don't just do them, mark them, see the mark scheme and engage in the mark scheme. Because the more you do that, the more you see like particular words crop up, you can kind of get in the examiner's head, and that really, really helps. So if you take one thing out of this, it's just do loads of questions. YouTube videos aren't going to help you a massive amount if you know the content. You should just be doing questions, revising them. If you don't know the content, then there are videos that you can watch, such as like all of GCSE biology in 2 hours or in 1 hour. I'll put a couple of them in the descriptions, but there are videos where you can try and recap the whole content. If you're stuck on a couple of things, watch 3 science lessons or Cognito. I went through all of the 3 science lesson videos for each science in the run up to that exam. So I'd recommend just watching that, recapping it, going over it. But other than that, questions are really important. One other thing as well is just make sure you're on your feet in the exam, like you know what they're trying to get out of you in the question. This does come from experience, but just don't get thrown off by what they're asking you. Like, really have a think about what they're asking you, because time usually isn't a problem in these exams. GCSE biology paper 2 can be a little bit odd because it doesn't really feel like much with science, but yeah, a lot of people neglect this content. So also make sure you are good on the content and strong on the content. Hope that's helpful. Just wanted to keep it quite quick and just give my advice. And my advice mainly is just to practice loads of questions. For science, it's quite simple. That's all you have to do. Practice questions. Any content you don't know, learn the content. You can flashcard it, watch videos on it, and go do practice questions again. Do that process and you'll like literally increase your grades massively. So yeah, I hope that's helpful, and leave a like.